What is going on out there, peeps? All right, there is a lot of activity happening around the world. What I'm seeing, and what I'm starting to realize is this is the last ditch effort of the so-called deep state trying to figure out what they need to do to stay in control. You could see it everywhere. What this man right here is doing, Al Kademi, what he's doing is against everything the deep state wants him to do. He literally is removing all the so-called deep state players out of Iraq. This is not fictitious. It's actually happening. He's actually pressing charges against the senior political figures, including going after Mahdi, which is supposed to be a no-no. All right. So these are all these Iranian-backed puppets. And keep in mind, when Biden gets into office, or I shouldn't say when, if he gets into office, he's going to reinstate that power back to Iran. He's going to fund them. They're going to start and do what they can to grab all the control of the Middle East. This is what they planned all along. All right, so make no doubt about it. If Biden gets in office, we're going to see the push for the one entire whole new world order. That's not hyperbolic. That's the truth. This man right here is fighting it. We're starting to see some hits, strikes happening all over the Middle East. Okay, Iraq is doing all it can, is staying out of it. I love it. But people thought, oh man, Pimpy, are you sure this is what's going on? I'm going to show you that this thing is really going on over there, okay? Just a quick reminder, because I'm going to do a video later on regarding gold and silver that you guys need to pay attention to. Plus, I have a very special guest that's going to be popping on the video. One we have not talked to in a while, but a very special guest I'm going to have on there for a brief, literally 10 seconds. So, anyways, nonetheless, if you're thinking about buying precious metals, please consider our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. I will leave a link in the description. If you are a first-time buyer there and you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, when you have an opportunity to put in the promo code PIMPY, Pimpy, you will get a free ½ ounce of silver. All right, so head on over there and get yourself your precious metals. It's necessary. All right, over here we have Pimpy's investment chat. Over here we do talk about investments, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, which are kicking butt, as well as foreign currency investments. Nothing else, no politics, no nothing. We do that over here, where the hidden things in front of your eyes are. Over here, we do talk about NESARA, GESARA, current events, political things, as well as some things that people consider conspiracy, like QAnon. Now, look at this. This was earlier today, because look at this. I want you to watch. Woo! Man. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. What is happening is this. Lebanon, Syria, Iran are being strategically hit hardcore right now by Israel, although they're not admitting it. And that's because just in case, what those countries are doing, they're all gearing up to attack Israel from a lot of different angles. Israel ain't having it. They know if they don't strike now, or they need to strike now, why Trump is in office. Because Trump supports Israel and does not support what the hell is going on there all over the place. Just in case Trump doesn't win, they want to get these countries weakened. They're hitting these strategic spots where missiles are reported to be, strongholds are supported to be, and bombs are supported to be, stuff like that. So look, not surprising. We're going to keep seeing it. But why that affects us is we want to make sure that absolutely Iraq stays out of it 100%, and so far, so good. And that's what I like about it. So I just wanted to show you, because people go, there's nothing going on over there. There is a lot going on over there, okay? So the compensation resulting from the Iraq's invasion of Kuwait amounted to $177 billion. That's U.S. dollars, not dinars. So the value of the compensation resulting in the Iraq invasion of Kuwait amounted to about $177.6 billion, of which the United Nations approved only $37.2 billion for Kuwait. The coalition forces for the liberation of Kuwait were led by the United States. These are the other people that were involved, as you can see here. So it goes on to give you a breakdown of everything. Financial losses to the Arab economy amounted to 620 billion, and Iraq and Kuwait come at the forefront of the effect that, of course, they do. They were the two countries involved. The invasion caused the death of 570 Kuwaits, about 605 prisoners, and missing persons, and resulted in huge losses and damages represented in igniting 752 oil wells, which produced several environmental disasters and stopped the production of oil for a long time. For those you don't remember, when we were kicking Saddam Hussein's ass over there in Kuwait, they turned around and lit all the oil fields on fire, and they burned. There was a dark cloud. It was so dark it was visible from the sky. Some of you might be too young to have seen this. Go to YouTube and watch it because it's devastating to watch. They literally caused one of the biggest environmental hazards of our time. They lit on fire 752 oil wells. Black billowing smoke everywhere. It was terrible to see. The biggest losses were from Iraq's share during the 40 days of war. That's how long it lasted, 40 days. Iraq was bombed more than 100,000 tons of explosive, including hundreds of tons of depleted uranium munition. The bombing caused more than 80,000 martyrs in the Iraq army, compared to 505 coalition forces, 472 of them Americans. Nearly 300,000 soldiers were wounded and 30,000 were captured. So that's how long the real war lasted. It was about 40 days. It was a one-sided ass whipping. Anyways, look, it goes on in here and gives out the detail, breaks it down. Okay, again, as usual, I leave the link for you guys to come and check this out so you can see this. Really, I just wanted to share this a little bit with you, okay, because we're more focused on them two settling their differences. Whoa, here's two of our favorite people. Baghdad reveals the talks with Erbil will resume. Now, remember, this is the week that we're hoping they are supposed to have this agreement hammered out and signed. It's supposed to have already been done. So let's see what's up. So the Prime Minister's spokesperson, Tala, revealed Tuesday that the talks between governments of Baghdad and Erbil will soon be resumed to resolve the outstanding differences between them. This came at a press conference attended by reporters of the news agency. So good. Tala said that there is a dialogue and communications between Baghdad and the Kurdistan region, adding that the delegation for the Kurdistan region of Kurdistan will soon visit Baghdad to resume talks. Now, remember, a couple of days ago, or was it last week, we saw articles saying that all the problems had already been ironed out. All that was left to do was to show up and sign this agreement. I told you this is one of the biggest steps we need towards getting Iraq where we want them to be, which is having their sovereignty reinstated. So one thing is the United Nations wants to make sure that, one, they've compensated the Kurdistan region, compensated the Kurdistan people. Two, making sure that with the agreement between Kuwait and Iraq was already resolved, and it was resolved long ago. So look, Kurdistan signs this agreement. What we're hoping for is Al-Qademi to meet with the King of Saudi Arabia before he comes here. There is agreement that I think the United States is waiting on, some kind of agreement between the two countries where Saudi Arabia is going to help Iraq financially, but there are some things they need to hammer out. So I'm watching for those two to happen before Al-Qademi comes here. Now, somebody brought something to my attention. That is because there's a deep state out there trying to prevent what's going on with Al-Qademi in Iraq, trying to keep them from getting back on solid ground. Is it possible that they're not telling people when Al-Qademi is coming over here just for safety reasons? Well, yeah, all that's always a consideration and should be taken into consideration. But the truth is, we don't know. Just announce it, do it. I'm looking forward to him being announced here in the United States. Excuse me. Excuse me. Somebody must be working. Okay, so for an option, other than dialogue to resolve problems according to the law and constitution under the negotiation table and dialogue between Baghdad and the Kurdistan region regarding holding cabinet sessions outside of Baghdad's government, Atala stressed the council will hold sessions in the governance as they do in Baghdad, and there is no difference between one government and another. It is normal for the council to hold its sessions in the Anbar province. Okay, so good. So again, this article is a little bit long, and you can come here and check it out. But anyways, they're just talking about what needs to be done and things they want to have ironed out before they get here. It looks like it's going to happen because Turkey's involved in this as well. And on the water situation between Turkey and Iraq, a spokesperson for the Prime Minister stated that a committee formed under the chairmanship of the Minister of Water Resources to follow up with the water file and the Turkish Al-Asal Dam, other dams with the Turkish side, noting that the Ministry of Water will lead a delegation to Turkey to discuss this and save the share of Iraq in accordance with the agreement of international. So Turkey does have, can easily, if they wanted to, block all that water that comes down into Iraq as well as into the other countries. They were trying to hold it as ransom at one time, but I can see a scenario in which these dams keep getting blown up. That's the type of thing that should not be allowed. Keep in mind, I think one of the biggest things that we want to see, Saudi Arabia is looking for some of this water to be trucked into Saudi Arabia. I told you what their plans were to build one of the biggest ravines or reservoirs ever made, get some pipelines and run it off the Tigris River or whatever the other river is as well. Since it's just runoff, just let the water come in and fill these ravines. That will seriously help Saudi Arabia, who's starting to get, their water levels are getting lower and lower, making it really hard on our agriculture. Okay, guys, that's with that one. Saleh welcomes the date of Saleh welcomes the date of early election and supports the dissolution of the parliament. So again, here we go. Good. But when are they going to do that? It doesn't make sense to me that they would dissolve the parliament too soon. You know what I mean? It would cause, maybe it might be worth it if you think about it. Look, we have people inside parliament, we know this, that are trying to, what they're trying to do is work together, team up together to try to stop al-Qademi. So if you just dissolve the parliament, there is no resistance. This ought to be interesting. So the president of the republic, Barham Saleh, welcomed the Prime Minister al-Qademi in his proposal to the date of the early election, which is going to be June 6, 2021. In a presidential statement, the call for early and free and fair elections is one of the requirements of the desired political reforms and a national entitlement produced by the popular movement, as it is discussed in the last meeting of the three presidencies that were gathered with the Prime Minister and the Speaker of the Parliament, and stressing the need to commit to holding early and fair and free elections. We already know this. We want that to be done. So, in regards, we welcome the announcement of the Prime Minister in his proposal for the date, okay, and the importance of serious work to achieve the governmental commitment as quickly as possible. Political crisis in Iraq cannot bear the procrastination and the conditions of suffering that our people are going through required a courageous national decision stemming from the people's entitlement and the right to choose an independent and coherent national government through free and fair elections. But where is the part about effective solutions stem from the citizens of his independent decisions away from the fraud and influencing of his elections choices in order to enable the country to move towards a desired structural reform. Okay, so that's all fine and good and dandy, but are they going to talk about where is the dissolution of Parliament? So this article goes on and on. It's talking about making sure they protect the integrity of the election, which we know this. It is a semi-long article, but so anyways, right here it says, if the government presents a proposal to dissolve Parliament, we intend to agree to submit into the House of Representatives for the purpose of submitting it to vote. And the Parliament's decision, we will formally decide no later than 2 months after the dissolution of Parliament and stipulated by the Constitution. So, yeah, well, let's get that notice out there. If they're the ones that are keeping things from going fair and free and holding up al-Qademi, let's get rid of them. The national entitlement and requires organizing honest elections as early as possible in order to get the country out of serious political crisis and enable the citizens to freely and independently determine the fate of his or her country without extortion and forgery. All right, so we have the same problem here in the United States. So look, the deep state's going to do everything they can to try to keep things from going forward in a positive way. So anyways, look, again, there's not a lot of exciting news. It's just moving forward. Like I said, it continues to move forward. That's what we're watching for. I didn't do a report yesterday because there wasn't a whole lot of excitement going on. There wasn't nothing really. Just like today, there's not a lot. What we're waiting for is Kurdistan to come over, get this agreement signed, and then a day for Al-Qademi to show up. All right, you guys, so that's where we are right now. Just keep your head up. Something tells me something big is going to happen this month. All right? All right, that's it. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later. Bye.